Unemployed man in China desperate enough to consider selling his corneas. Millennial initiates vote to overthrow the Chinese Communist Party. Most EV batteries in China fail safety standards. CCP's neighborhood spies are owed 6 months' salary. Undergrads turn to freelancing to get by. A 20-minute free-for-all as shopping platform misprices items. On August 28th, a vlogger named Huo shared a video saying that a migrant worker from Jinhua, Zhejiang, reached out to him for help. The worker said he hadn't found a job for a month and a half and had been sleeping under a bridge for 5 days. He hadn't eaten in days and was so hungry that he could barely speak. The blogger brought him a bowl of braised beef noodles and 2 chicken legs. The man drank every drop of the noodle soup, finally regaining some strength. The worker forced a bitter smile and said, "This morning I didn't want to go on anymore. I thought I was out of options, so I figured, just give up. In a month and a half, I only worked 3 days. And since coming to Hefei, I haven't found a single day of work. To stop my stomach from growling, I was ready to end it all. Thankfully, the blogger answered my call." The worker shared his recent struggles, explaining that he couldn't find work and had no money left. To survive, he even thought about selling his blood or corneas, but you need certificates for that, and no hospital would accept him without one. He helplessly said that he and other workers even asked the hospital, but the doctor just told them to get lost. He said he's not married, his parents have passed away, and his house in the countryside was demolished by the government, leaving him homeless. He's completely out of money. When he's thirsty, he fills a bottle with free water from restaurants, and when he's hungry, he just has to bear it. Before leaving, the blogger gave the man 200 yuan so he could get something to eat. The man immediately dropped to his knees to thank the blogger for saving his life. The blogger quickly pulled him up, but the man kept expressing his gratitude. The man's situation touched many people online. They commented, "I teared up when he knelt down. It's really hard to find work when you're older, and with the economy being tough these past 2 years, it's even harder. Just wait 5 or 10 more years, you'll see how many people won't be able to find jobs." The video also gained attention on overseas platforms like X. One user said, "Take care, brother. Watching videos like this often makes me think I could easily end up in his situation. I'm just a bit luckier, having had the chance to leave China." Another said, "Xi Jinping needs to watch this video. The Politburo Standing Committee needs to see it. You keep saying the people are the foundation of the nation? This is the biggest lie that's lasted a century." Fortunately, this man had a bit of luck. The blogger later posted another video saying that a noodle shop in Hefei offered him a job, and the man was incredibly grateful. The shop owner mentioned that the man is very honest and works hard at the shop. The blogger added, "Don't overlook small acts of kindness." Many users also commented, saying they were reminded once again that there are still good people in the world. On August 31st, many users on the X social media platform shared a post reporting Chinese leader Xi Jinping. The post claimed, "Wang Miaoxin revealed, I posted a report against Xi Jinping on the Zhihu website and the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection's reporting website. This generation of netizens just keeps getting bolder." The report accused Xi Jinping of misconduct during the COVID-19 pandemic, which led to serious consequences, including the deaths of many people. It highlighted 3 main points. 1. Reprimanding whistleblowing Dr. Li Wenliang. This action prevented the COVID-19 outbreak from being detected early, allowing the virus to spread unchecked and endanger the entire world. 2. The harsh zero-COVID policy. While people were not killed by the virus, they died from food shortages, lack of timely medical treatment, and even secondary disasters like fires, all caused by strict lockdown measures. 3. Suppressing the white paper movement at the end of 2022. Students demanded the lifting of lockdowns, but the government violated their constitutionally protected rights. They carried out mass arrests and imprisoned many students involved in the movement, severely abusing public power. On August 29th, Wang Miaoxin posted a video stating, "I have filed a real name report on the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection's website, accusing Xi Jinping of violating work and public discipline. I'm requesting that the Commission expel Xi Jinping from the Communist Party and remove him from all internal and external positions. Please stay tuned for updates." A Google search reveals that Wang Miaoxin has channels on multiple platforms. In his YouTube channel, Wang Miaoxin discusses politics. He describes himself as a student born in the 90s, the first to file a real name report against Xi Jinping, and the initiator of a vote to overthrow the CCP. The pursuit of constitutional democracy is the goal of every Chinese person. Wang Miaosen has also published numerous videos expressing his views, including topics like, can the CCP represent China? Why does the Communist Party make us love our country? How does the Communist Party brainwash Chinese people? Why can't we withdraw money from banks? And there's no real market economy in China. The Communist Party controls everything about you. Previously, Wang Miaosen also initiated a public vote to overthrow the Chinese Communist Party on his blog. In his post, he stated, "The Chinese Communist Party has committed countless atrocities since its establishment in 1921, and even more so after seizing power in 1949. From the 3 anti- and 5 anti-campaigns, the Great Leap Forward, the Cultural Revolution, the Tiananmen Square crackdown, the persecution of Falun Gong, the 709 lawyer arrests, the Xinjiang concentration camps, zero COVID quarantines, to the suppression of the White Paper movement, the CCP has done all kinds of evil. However, under the leadership of Xi Jinping, the party not only shows no remorse, but also amended the constitution, removing the term limits for the president and vice president, blatantly turning back the clock on history." Wang Miaosen questions, do we still want to be descendants of Marx and Lenin? It's time for the 1.4 billion Chinese people to stand up and express our voices through voting. He announced that the voting started on August 17, 2024, and that it is conducted anonymously. The Chinese Communist Party has been vigorously promoting the new energy vehicle (NEV) projects, but incidents of electric cars catching fire and exploding have been frequently reported. On September 1st, Zheng Yuchun, the chairman of CATL, a leading Chinese battery manufacturer, openly admitted during a World Power Battery Conference in Sichuan that the safety standards for the majority of NEV batteries in China are far from adequate. He pointed out that the battery industry is uneven in quality, with many products not living up to their claims. While some batteries are said to have a safety failure rate of only 1 in a million, the actual failure rate is closer to 1 in 10,000 or even 1 in 1,000. Zheng Yuchun cited official statistics, stating that in 2023, the fire incident rate for NEVs in China, currently there are over 25 million NEVs in China, with the number of battery cells used already reaching billions. When you multiply the number of battery cells by the aforementioned safety failure rate, the safety risks are self-evident. If the safety issues with batteries are not resolved, the consequences could be catastrophic. In other words, NEVs in China have essentially become ticking time bombs on the road. Zheng emphasized that safety is the core of NEV technology development and is the key factor to influencing the success or failure of the entire industry. In the past 2 years, incidents of domestically produced electric vehicles catching fire in China have been frequently occurring. According to accident reports released by companies over the past 6 years, the period from June to August is when EV fires are most likely to happen, and vehicle collisions are not the primary cause of these fires. In 2023, out of more than 270 reported cases of new energy vehicles catching fire, only about 10% of the fires occurred after a collision. Over 50% of the vehicles caught fire while charging or while they were stationary. To maintain stability, the Chinese Communist Party has recruited a large number of grid workers across various local governments over the years to strengthen surveillance and control over the public. However, recent complaints from grid workers in the Hanjiang area of Putian City, Fujian Province, have surfaced online, revealing that the local government has been withholding their wages for 6 months, and their social security contributions have also been suspended, leaving them in financial distress. In a rare move, officials confirmed the situation, with staff from the Grid Management Center stating that the district government has managed to pay 1 month's salary, and they are working on resolving the remaining unpaid wages. The issue has drawn significant public attention. Many believe that if the government cannot even afford to pay the grid workers' modest monthly salary of 2,200 yuan, it indicates that local finances might be nearing bankruptcy. Grid management officers are individuals hired by local governments to enhance monitoring and control over communities. The government divides communities into several grids and assigns grid workers to collect information on residents, promote official policies, and carry out surveillance tasks. Although these workers are temporarily employed by the government, their wages are still funded by government budgets. According to public information, it has become increasingly common for grassroots government employees to face wage delays. Even major cities like Beijing and Nanjing are experiencing financial difficulties, with administrative districts within these cities needing to borrow money from one another just to keep government operations running. Radio Free Asia, citing a former government official, reported that the salaries of grassroots workers in China mainly rely on central government transfer payments. The widespread issues of salary reductions and delayed payments not only indicate the poor financial situation at the grassroots level, but also suggest a decline in the central government's ability to provide these transfer payments. According to official data, there are about 7 million civil servants within the Chinese government system, around 13 million staff who are managed similarly to civil servants, approximately 31 million individuals employed in public institutions, and about 40 million temporary workers. In total, more than 80 million people receive their salaries from government funds. Due to the Chinese government's crackdown on the education and training industry, a 32-year-old vlogger from Guangzhou, He Ajun, exited the education sector last August. Since then, he has been documenting his journey through long-term unemployment by posting videos and advertisements on his blog, offering private consultations, and selling handmade crafts at street stalls. He now earns about 5,000 yuan per month. On the social media platform Xiaohongshu, hashtags like unemployment, unemployment diary, and laid off have collectively garnered 2.1 billion views. Young people in China who have been shut out of the job market are desperate to find new opportunities and are sharing their strategies for coping with long-term unemployment. They describe the mundane details of their daily lives, count the days since they were laid off, share awkward chat logs with their former supervisors, and sometimes post crying selfies along with advice to others in similar situations. Meanwhile, the gig economy in China is rapidly expanding, with the flexible employment population now exceeding 200 million people, accounting for 14.3% of the national workforce. This number continues to grow at an annual rate of 8%. However, there is also an issue of oversupply in the gig economy. Due to the difficulty of finding jobs, many college graduates in China have begun working in low-end manufacturing and service jobs. Columbia University sociologist Yao Lu estimates that about 25% of university graduates aged 23 to 35 are currently employed in positions below their educational qualifications. Yao Lu notes that unemployed graduates understand that blaming the government for their situation is both risky and ineffective. Instead, she says, they are more likely to conceal their dissatisfaction and criticism, opting to lie flat, a term referring to the passive resistance to societal pressures. This year, a record 11.8 million students graduated from Chinese universities, but the job market is experiencing unprecedented stagnation. Many white-collar industries, including finance, have implemented widespread layoffs and pay cuts. In July, the urban youth unemployment rate in China for those aged 16 to 24 surged to 17.1%, though analysts believe this figure may be severely underestimated and fails to account for millions of unemployed rural youth. The Chinese authorities are accelerating the development of so-called new quality productivity, but their policy focus is limited to narrow technological fields like artificial intelligence and robotics. Critics argue that this approach could lead to weak demand in other sectors and leave an entire generation of well-educated young people struggling to find employment. These graduates have missed the last economic boom and haven't had a chance to receive education relevant to emerging industries. A Chinese economist who spoke to Reuters on condition of anonymity commented that many of the nearly 48 million college students in China may start with low salaries and contribute relatively little in taxes over their lifetimes. While they can't be labeled as a lost generation, this situation represents a significant waste of human capital. Another pricing error incident has struck an e-commerce store in China, leading to what some are calling a disaster for a small shop, which trended on September 2nd. Recently, many users on social media reported that on August 28th, due to a pricing error at Little Swan Dongshan's specialty store, they were able to purchase washing machines at extremely low prices. Some even placed 4 or 5 orders at this price, intending to resell them. The store issued a statement explaining that during the early hours of the 28th, a new operations staff member misunderstood the platform's promotional rules, leading to a pricing error where all the washing machines were mistakenly set to sell at 40 to 50% of their cost. The issue was discovered and corrected by 12:20 a.m., but in those short 20 minutes, which felt like a lifetime, nearly 40,000 orders were placed, with many customers ordering multiple machines. The total order amount was nearly 40 million yuan, involving involving goods worth over 70 million yuan. The store, which is operated by just 6 employees in a small county in Anhui Province, stated that the home appliance market has been struggling in recent years due to the downturn in the real estate market, and they haven't made much profit. The tens of thousands of orders and the millions involved are astronomical figures for them. A former e-commerce operator for a domestic home appliance brand commented that the pressure on e-commerce operations is significant, with increasingly complex platform activities such as stacking discounts upon discounts. It's easy to make mistakes if one doesn't fully understand the rules, which can result in massive losses. This incident quickly became a hot topic, sparking widespread discussion online. Many netizens commented, "I think the root cause lies here. Even the merchants can't figure out these complicated rules. If they set them incorrectly, they can lose everything, while buyers don't even know if they're getting a good deal or not. It's the platform that needs to be addressed." Reports indicated that in addition to the specialty store, other stores such as Lin's flagship store and Vati's original flagship store on Tmall also experienced ultra-low price sales in the early hours of that day. Some discounts were as steep as 80 to 90% off, leading many consumers to rush and buy products within a short period. Tmall has not provided an explanation for why this bug occurred at midnight, nor why multiple brands faced the same issue simultaneously. One e-commerce representative declined to comment further, simply stating, "We weren't the only ones hit by this," and advised, "You should contact Alibaba directly to understand what happened that day," adding, "We're just a small store, there's nothing more we can say." The report also noted that those who rushed to exploit the pricing error, often referred to as bargain hunters or scalpers, were quickly informed through group messages, where they alerted each other once the low-price bug appeared. They then moved swiftly to place orders. In recent years, several similar incidents of merchants mistakenly setting incorrect prices have occurred in China.